Good afternoon, Trinidad and Tobago. I'm Mary-Therese Bernard. C News is live.
And I am Rishi Harinanan with sport. We will tell you what's happening with West Indies cricket off the field.
In news this afternoon, police officers were summoned to an area in Martin which has been the source of contention between residents and businessman George Aboud. It is reported that Aboud this morning sent in bulldozers to clear the area. Councillor for the area, Michael Alonso, accused Aboud of acting illegally as the issue is currently before the courts.
The owner of Starlight Shopping Plaza has an ongoing land dispute here, and where he has, some time ago he came and he bulldozed, must be the size of a football field in the back, and took down all people's property and all the trees and bearing fruit and all. And there's a matter before the court. Now he has come back here apparently this morning with a backhoe, a big thing, and broke down a wall and broke down a property and a bearing fruit tree, plum tree and all of that again. But the police came and stopped him. So they have a massive turnout of police here.
And we will have more on this story in the C News report at 7 tonight. If you're stuck in traffic along the Beetham Highway, it's because there's a temporary disruption to facilitate interconnection works by the Water and Sewage Authority. The disruption started at 9 and will end at 4 p.m. Word today of a shake-up in large media houses as restructuring and retrenchment drives rear their heads at these operations. A trusted source revealed that One Caribbean Media, that's TV6 and Express, is on the brink of beginning a retrenchment drive. 43 members of staff are targeted to go from the television and press newsroom, technical and other areas. And Guardian Media too, it is reported that it is also looking to restructure their operations. Changes at the top, however, may be the first area to be tackled. CNMG has been told that one manager will be placed in charge of one area of operations across the entire network. This, it is believed, will work to prevent duplication of managerial duties. Sources say that machines to automate functions in the media house have been bought and may come into use. Workers at the media house say they are anxious that as a result, their jobs may also be in jeopardy. Fishermen and Friends of the Sea say there is no new oil spill in the Gulf of Paria. This after residents of King's Wharf in San Fernando said an oily substance is being seen on the top of the water, and they say they are fearful their children will fall ill because of the smell. FFOS President George Aboud says the oil seen is as a result of a leak about 3 to 4 miles off Cedros, a spill which has been happening for some time now. Aboud says the oil is showing now because of the movement to the water in a clockwise direction.
So most of the oil that is spilling outside Cedros, and there's a lot, and it has been going on for weeks, and Petrotrin have been unable to address it. Most of the oil is moving in a clockwise manner into the Gulf of Paria, where it will make a circle and re-enter into the Trinidad and Tobago territory.
He accused Petrotrin of denying what is taking place and said he does not want to get into an unnecessary war of words with them. But he explained that citizens should insist on the creation of a standard procedure to deal with national disasters which might occur, such as an oil spill. He believes the emergency course of action should be public knowledge.
We, the stakeholders, should not be warning the public via the media. Petrotrin and the Ministry of Energy should be warning us that they have had an accident, and it is not the current procedure in Trinidad and Tobago. What we find happening is that Petrotrin is keeping secrets as a public relations exercise and not being honest and forthwith about the damage that they are doing to our fisher folk.
And calls to the EMA office on this matter went unanswered. President of the Communication Workers Union, Joseph Remy, says the exploitation of workers continues to be a challenge for trade unions in this country. Speaking on CTV's morning program, Mr. Remy explained workers experience injustice from both employers and the business community.
Hours of work are being expanded without increased compensation and all those things. But the purchasing power of your dollar, every time that there is an increase, workers are forced to sacrifice part of their dollar because the business sector, and we have to say that, they see it as an opportunity to increase their profit margins.
He noted that the concern is not a new one, but added a different approach must be applied to solve the problem.
The social wage is where one of our alignment is now, because we believe that we need to now look at more benefits that will ease the burden on the workers and at least give them a little more purchasing power with the dollar that they have.
The union head also emphasized that in order for this change to be possible, all unions must band together instead of fighting one another. This is the C News Report at noon. Remember, you can follow us on Twitter and Facebook at C News Live. You can also visit our website at ctvtt.com. And now here's a look at what's happening in the region.
The Dominica Water and Sewerage Company is appealing to the Dominican public to stock up on drinking water as weather officials are monitoring a strong tropical wave which could affect the island later today. Its public relations officer, Edward Registe, said the company also issued a travel advisory due to the pending inclement weather. He said the public should try to keep water in storage for domestic use over the next few days because it is anticipated that heavy rains could affect some of the vulnerable systems around the island. In Antigua, a Defense Force soldier has been formally accused of a criminal offense after he allegedly broke into Prime Minister Gaston Brown's home while he and his wife and son were overseas on vacation recently. The soldier has been identified as 22-year-old Xavier Baltimore of Golden Grove, who joined the force in May this year after training for 6 months with the last batch of recruits. The Center for Disease Control and Prevention has issued a Zika virus travel notice for the Bahamas. Local transmission of Zika has been reported on the island of New Providence. Local mosquito transmission means that mosquitoes in the area are infected with Zika virus and are spreading to the people. In Jamaica, Medical Officer of Health for St. Anne, Dr. Deborah Ware, has confirmed 5 cases of Zika virus in the parish among the 264 reports of suspected cases. Ware made the disclosure while speaking at a Zika community meeting in St. Anne's Bay last Friday. In Guyana, President David Granger is suggesting that there is a possibility the private use of ganja could be allowed in Guyana in the near future, even though wider decriminalization of marijuana is not on the cards. According to iNews Guyana, Granger made the suggestion on a local television program. It quoted the head of state as saying the cabinet is awaiting advice and recommendations from the Ministries of Public Health and Public Security on how to move ahead with the issue.
And now it's time for sport with Rishi Harinanan. Rishi, tell me, is there more happening off the field than on the field in cricket?
So it would seem, as now the WICB, the West Indies Cricket Board, has been given 14 days to respond to concerns about the quality of pitch produced for the 4th Test match against India at the Queen's Park Oval in Port of Spain. The ground has been rated poor by the ICC match referees, who oversaw the washout Test series between the two teams. The ICC said the official, Ranjan Madagali, had expressed concern in accordance with Clause 3 of the pitch and outfield monitoring process. The match referees' reports have been forwarded to the WICB and they are expected to respond in 2 weeks. The ICC said match referee David Boone will assess the WICB's reply. New West Indies T20 captain Carlos Brathwaite says his main focus is to beat India in the upcoming 2-match series in Florida. The matches will be played on Saturday and Sunday. Brathwaite was speaking with Barbados today.
Like this will be pretty easy to lead from the point that the dressing room is a fun place to be. So I don't think it's a case where I have to negotiate too many egos. The guys enjoy each other's company. It's just a matter for me to go out there, do the things that I know I can do, firstly as a player and then as a captain.
Brathwaite doesn't expect any changes in the attitude from the members of the team.
Started to mold so efficiently, and again, the most important thing is getting victories for the West Indies as a unit. Obviously with a new leader, things might change bit by bit, just but for me to keep adjusting. And then just finding ways for us as a team to continue to win. I don't want to get too deep into the psychology of changing leaders and stuff like that. I think all the guys mature enough. We have cases where some guys were captain and then play the next series under a different captain. We are professionals. We all know what we have to go out there and do.
To some other news now, 3 Olympic champions from China are among 11 weightlifters who face being stripped of their medals after failing retests of their Beijing 2008 doping samples. The International Weightlifting Federation said the 11 medalists tested positive for a range of banned substances. Among those to fail are gold medalists Xiao Li, Liu Chonghong and Chen Zisha. The other 8 medalists to test positive are from Russia, Kazakhstan, Azerbaijan and Ukraine. They are all provisionally suspended until the cases are resolved. James Figan has become the final U.S. swimmer to apologize for his actions and give a detailed account of what transpired in the Rio gas station incident. Following the statements released by teammates Ryan Lochte, Jack Conger and Gunan Bentz, Figan has apologized for the serious distraction he and the other 3 athletes caused at the Rio Games. Figan, who won gold in the 4x100 meters freestyle relay, admits to omitting facts from his original police statement after claims from Rio police the 4 testimonies didn't add up. And that's what we have for sport. It's now time for a look at the weather forecast with Ian Wallace.
The sweltering heat may well spark some showers today. Moisture combined with the calm but hot air may bring a scattering of showers, particularly around western Trinidad and along the south coast. Many areas will still see some sunshine at times, interrupted by these showers popping up from time to time. Expect a high 32 degrees Celsius in Tobago and 35 degrees Celsius in Trinidad. If you're heading to the beaches to cool down, look for southeasterly winds of 5 to 10 knots, which may have flags stirring at times. A slight chop of 1 to 1.5 meters is likely through the Caribbean and the Atlantic for boaters, with northeasterly swells of 10 seconds. Low tide at 3 is followed by high tide at 9. That is the latest weather, and I am meteorologist Ian Wallace.
Thanks a lot, Ian, for that weather. A magnitude 6.2 earthquake has struck central Italy, leaving at least 60 people dead and 150 missing as rescuers search for survivors. Many of the dead were in Accumoli, close to the epicenter, and a short distance away in Amatrice, which was largely reduced to rubble. The village of Pescara del Tronto was leveled to the ground, and the number of dead is expected to rise. The quake hit at 3:36 a.m. and at 100 kilometers northeast of Rome. China has given the world a first glimpse of its design for the space probe and rover it plans to use in its first mission to Mars. It intends to launch its mission in mid-2020. As part of the announcement in Beijing, the authorities also launched a public competition to come up with a name and a logo for the Voyager. On August 16th, China launched a potentially groundbreaking quantum-enabled satellite, testing communications technology, and in early August, its Jade Rabbit lunar rover shut down after 31 months exploring the moon. And that's the news live noon update. C News, powered by our team of journalists and producers across the Republic and the region, on television, radio, and online.
C News, your country, our job.